are going to start. I know that some of you have just come back from work, you're super busy, and so on and so forth. And the last thing that you want is for me to be rambling on and on and on. So it's an hour session. This is the agenda on the screen. We've got Meet the CEO, which is myself, Genesis of TriTech. So how was TriTech birthed? We've been around for over 7 years. And then we're going to highlight the problem as to why people are not securing roles. And then I'm going to share my 10-step strategy on how you can secure your role in tech. Guys, not sure what's going on with the screen. Can we just fix it, please? Thank you. So can we go back to the agenda? Thank you so much. And then we're going to look at the roadmap and hear from our success stories. And then we have a discount. So how many of you on the call love a discount? Give me a yes, give me a no. We love freebies, we love discounts. You know, we like things that are cheap and cheerful, and that is what TriTech is known for. Providing something that is affordable. We know that this year is not smiling. The economy is not smiling. Nobody is smiling. So we always want to make sure that we have an offer that is all right and affordable to every one of you on the course. So I got you. We've got something nice and cool. So do not worry. So let's go to the next slide. So this is myself. As I mentioned, I am the CEO of TriTech Consulting Limited. My name is Dr. Adeshola Cole. A little bit about myself. I was born in Hackney, and then I was raised in Birmingham with foster parents up until the age of 11. At the age of 11, my parents took me to Nigeria because I was a bit of a rebellious child. So when I got to Nigeria, I continued with my secondary education. I went to Ifako International. And then from there, my parents were still not convinced that I changed. So I had to complete my university education. And I went to Lagos State University, otherwise known as LASU. And I studied literature in English. Are there any LASUites on the call? Let me know. Greatest LASUites, great. Okay. So by the time I presented my dissertation, I was ready to come back home or ready to come back to the UK. So I came back to the UK and I started to do a lot of odd jobs that you would do at that time and some of you are doing presently. So I used to work as a cleaner. I used to work for the Savoy Hotel as a chambermaid. So a chambermaid is somebody that would clean your room. So I would be the one to knock on your door, housekeeping, and clean about 10 to 15 rooms. I did a lot of domestic cleaning as well. And then I worked in a bakery selling donuts, cakes, sandwiches, fish fingers, you name it. And then from there, I found myself in a gambling company, otherwise known as William Hill. So I would be the one to place your bet on football and horse riding and anything of that nature. And then somehow I found myself in the bank. So I was with NatWest Bank for 10 years. I started off as a cashier, and then I was a sales advisor. And I was a very good sales advisor. I would be the one to grab you from the door when you come in back then, because now banking is very, very different. So I would be the one to sell you your loans, your mortgages, your credit cards, your home insurance, life insurance, and everything in between. And I could sell. I was really good at selling. But after 10 years, I realized that the bank wasn't offering me anything extra. You know, when you get paid, so how many of you can relate right now? You get paid, you pay your bills, you pay your rent, and you literally have nothing left at the end of the month. And that was me. And I got really, really frustrated. And every year there was a lot of empty promises. If you get this amount of sales, we're going to give you a pay rise. Nothing happened. So I became that stereotypical Black woman in the banking industry that challenged everything because I was really, really unhappy. I wasn't given a voice. I had a lot of ideas, but I wasn't given the opportunity to share those ideas. And the environment that I was in was overshadowed with work politics. So are there any of you on the call that are in that situation right now? You're stuck in a dead-end job, you're frustrated, you've got a voice, no one's hearing your voice, no one's listening to you, and you're just miserable at work. So that was me. And I remember, I think I just had baby, 2014. It's been a very long time, actually. So I was complaining to a friend of mine. You know, when you get home, you moan, you complain, you grumble, and so on and so forth. And he was like, why don't you try project management and business analysis? Then we never used to say transition into tech. It was just a case of, why don't you try to get into project management and business analysis? And I didn't have a clue. I had no clue what it was about, but I joined a company similar to what I now operate. And within 3 months, I was able to get my success story and get a job as a hybrid project manager. So that was how I transitioned into tech many, many years ago. So TriTech, how did TriTech come about? Now, within that company where I got my success story, I stayed on as a mentor. And that was when I realized that I had a passion for mentorship. So I was a top mentor within that company. I would literally mentor someone for an interview and boom, they will get the job. I didn't have any crystal ball or anything of that nature, but I had someone said, I need discount. Don't worry, discount is coming. But, you know, I just realized it was something that I enjoyed doing and people were getting jobs. So in March 2017, I was pregnant with baby number 3. So I've got 3 adorable children. And I was going on maternity. And I thought to myself, do you know what? Let me just create something to get me by during that time. Yes, I still had the passion of helping as many people as possible. But I never, ever, ever thought that TriTech would become as big as it is and impact as many lives as it has. So I'm going to run through some of our awards and accolades in a few. I'm going to do that now. So in 2016, within that company, I received the Mentor of the Year award. And then in 2018, I received the Woman of the Year award. In 2020, I received the award for youth empowerment. Again, in 2022, I received the Woman of the Year award. In 2022, a Rotary Recognition Award for Philanthropy, Emerging CEO of the Year 2022. Again, 2022, African Achievers Legacy Award at the House of Parliament. In 2023, a Global Excellence Outstanding Woman in Tech Award. In 2023, February, I was featured in Forbes Africa, where I did an interview on helping people transition into tech within the African community. In 2023, I was featured as the top 100 most impactful people. And just recently in 2024, I think about 2 months ago, top 100 influential global voices in Africa. So these are some of my awards. Thank you to is everyone clapping? I mean, if one win is a win for everybody, right? And this is just me. I had a dream. I was scared to set up TriTech, if I'm honest with you. I had no confidence. I was worried. And I decided, you know what, let me just try. And here I am right now. So if there's any motivation for any of you on the call right now, just try, just try. It might work out, it might not work out, but here I am today as a testament to the fact that I had a vision and I decided to go ahead with that vision. So let's have a look at the next slide. Thank you, guys. Memorable moments. So this was me at the House of Parliament a few months back. It's very obvious. Looking at me there, sitting there, again, very nervous. But I had to, thank you so much, Temi and everyone else. I had to deliver a session on AI fintech within the House of Parliament. That's an amazing opportunity for TriTech, if I do say so myself. Let's have a look at another one. And this was me with the Security Minister, Tom Tugendhat. And I was privileged with my team to deliver a session on cybersecurity. Again, this was about 3 months ago. Again, I was nervous. I know I keep saying I was nervous, but I was nervous. But I nailed it and I delivered it. And it's something that I am so proud of and something that I'm proud of with my team as well, who supports me on this journey. Next slide, please. And this is me, the shortest, as always. Thank you, Jennifer. The shortest, always the shortest, with Lord Dominic Johnson, former Minister of State for Business and Trade. He wrote a book and I was privileged to attend the launch of this book. So another memorable moment for TriTech. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the problem. And when I mean the problem, highlighting why so many of you are not able to get a job. So before we come with the solution, which is my 10-step strategy, I'm going to identify and discuss what the problems are. I have been privileged over 7 years. So TriTech is I can't believe it's going to be 8 years in March, to see and mentor a number of candidates. And we're able to gather all of that data and identify what the problems are as to why people are not able to transition within the tech space. So first and foremost, the key problem is a lack of relevant skills. 75% of recruiters would actually employ someone that has skills as opposed to certifications. Guys in the chat, do you agree or disagree? I like to make my sessions very interactive. So let me know in the chat, do you agree or disagree? Okay, so many of you on this call, someone said neutral, fair enough. So many of you on this call, you want to get into tech, but you don't have the right skill set based on what you're doing currently. So for example, maybe you're a lawyer, maybe you're a doctor, maybe you're a nurse, maybe you have your own business and you're stuck at this hurdle because you don't have the relevant skills. Now, the great thing with the tech space is that you will find that whatever you're doing, regardless of what industry and regardless of what role, there are aspects of what you're doing currently that you can bring into the tech space. So what does that mean? If you're dealing with people, so how many of you on this call deal with people on a daily basis, whether it's your customers, your clients, your patients? Let me know in the chat. So how many of you deal with people on a daily basis? Fantastic. So essentially, in the project management and business analysis world, you are dealing with stakeholders. So there's a little aspect of what you're doing currently that you can bring into the tech space. However, your skills are very, very important. When we're talking about skills, we're talking about communication skills, analytical skills, emotional intelligence skills, being able to solve problems, being able to come up with solutions, being able to deal with difficult stakeholders that are gonna rub you up the wrong way, negotiation skills, your client wants X and you want Y, and then you have to negotiate. Also, part of these skills include your project planning skills, knowing how to manage a budget, knowing how to manage a timeline, and everything else in between. So that's the first problem that we've identified. The second problem is insufficient experience. 86% of CEOs prefer candidates with experience, again, over certifications. Now, when you go for an interview, the interviewer wants to know how, show me how, tell me how, and give me examples. They may or they might not ask about certifications, but when you're sitting in that interview, they want to know the type of projects that you've worked on. They want to know how you've managed these projects. How have you ensured that you've delivered a project within a high expectation on quality? How have you managed your software developers and your business analysts and your PMO analysts and so on and so forth? What type of projects did you work on? Were they AI projects? Were they cybersecurity projects? Were they digital transformation projects? And so on and so forth. So we noticed that there are many of you who you might have a certification or a certificate in something, but you lack that relevant experience that enables you to go for an interview and confidently give examples of things that you've done within the project space. And also, when you then get the job, the ability to keep that job as well. I always say to my candidates that it's one thing to get the job, and it's another thing to keep the job as well. So having that experience is going to boost your confidence because you're not lying. These are things that you've talked about. These are things that you've experienced, and therefore you're able to confidently talk about them when you go for an interview. The next one is imposter syndrome. And I still deal with this from time to time. Are there any of you on the call that deal or, you've had to overcome this at some point in your career? Anyone at all on the call, let me know. It's interesting to see, absolutely. I think it is still a problem. 70% of workers report experiencing imposter syndrome at some point in their careers. That is where you feel so guilty on your experience and what you have to showcase. You feel like you're a fraudster. You know that you have that capacity and you know that you have that intellect, but there's something that makes you shy to show it. So that happens to me a lot. So sometimes I have to do a lot of content on Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to show too much, or, you know, I don't want people to think that I'm a fraud. And as someone has mentioned, I think that we all deal with it at some point in our careers. So we find that a lot of candidates deal with this regularly. And one of the goals in TriTech is to help you overcome that and boost that confidence within you so that you do not feel guilty about your achievements, your accomplishments, and what you're able to do. The other problem that we've identified is a mismatch, between skills and industry needs. So you will find that 87% of companies report that candidates lack the necessary skills for a lot of the roles that are out there right now, especially in 2024. So what you will find now is that there's a huge focus on what? Any guesses? So back in the day, it was all about Prince 2. And then it was about agile. And yes, it's still about agile, but there's something else that's taken over of recent. Any guesses? What could it be? It's all around us. You go on Instagram, it's there. Fantastic. AI. AI, do we agree, disagree? I don't want to say it's taken over our lives. However, you will find that a lot of companies have hopped on this trend. And I do think that it's here to stay. So what you will find is that, you know, the traditional methods within the tech space are gradually easing away, and there's more focus on those tech skills. Having an understanding of AI, how does AI help you where you're able to focus on the customer, and AI does all the nitty-gritty of, you know, writing codes and doing research and giving you that valuable information so that all you can focus on, all you need to focus on is quality and delivery. So let's have a look at the next slide. We're still talking about the problem. Okay, another problem that we've identified, especially post-COVID, is again the rise of AI. Okay, do we agree that it's taken over our jobs? Yes or no? I just want to look at the data and then I will tell you what I think. So there's a huge panic at the moment, right? Everyone's like, oh my goodness, AI is going to take over our jobs. AI here, there, everywhere. Now, this is what's going to happen. If you do not jump on the AI trend, it will absolutely take your job. But what you need to do is leverage off AI. So therefore, think about ways of embracing AI within whatever you're doing at the moment. So what will happen in the next couple of years is that there'll be AI-related tech jobs. So for example, AI project managers, AI business analysts, and so on and so forth. So we do find that there are a lot of processes at the moment that AI can easily do for you, and therefore we don't need to hire anybody to do the job. Another problem is immigration. So we recognize that there's a number of our candidates who, sorry guys, my phone was about to go off. We do recognize that there's a number of candidates who perhaps, because of their immigration status, they are limited in regards to the type of jobs that they can go for. I think that you will agree that sponsorship has kind of reduced a little bit. And as a result, you'll find that the immigration process is becoming more and more cumbersome. And we have a lot of candidates who perhaps they don't know what route to take. Maybe they're on a care visa, or they're on a dependent visa, or a student visa, or a tech visa, or the global talent visa, and they need some sort of guidance in regards to what route to take. So this is another problem that we have identified. The interview process. So how many of you have gone for an interview recently? Don't be shy, nothing to be ashamed about. So if you've tried the interview process recently, let me know in the chats. Okay, so back in the day, before COVID, you would literally walk into the office and you would have your interview. They like you, and probably after one stage, you would get the job. But post-COVID, you will find, as Pascal has said, everything is via Zoom. Okay, that's number one. And it's not just about the traditional methods of having an interview. So, for example, what's your understanding of Agile? What's your understanding of people management? Give me a definition of a stakeholder. That was back in the day during my time. But now you will find that the interview stage has at least 3 to 4 stages. Does anyone agree or disagree? And nowadays, they want you to do presentations. They give you case studies because they are interviewing you over Zoom, number one. So they need to make sure that they've got the right candidate. And you could be anywhere in the world. Another reason why the interview process is so streamlined. And sadly, a lot of people they've gone for an interview, they've bragged their way through an interview, they've gotten the job, and unfortunately, they've not been able to keep the job. So you will find that right now, the interview process is not as easy as what it used to be, yeah? And also, if you're applying for a job right now, the stakes are high. So according to our data, for example, you will have 250 applications per job. So imagine there's one job that's been posted on LinkedIn and there's 250 of you trying to scramble for that one job. It's a problem, but don't worry, we have the solution. And there are other factors as well, especially, so someone said they've applied to 200 jobs so far. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. The industry is super saturated and competitive right now. And if you don't know what you're doing, you don't have the skills and the experience, and you're not able to back up that experience, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for you to get that job. But do not worry, TriTech has the solution. Okay, other factors as well. There are some of you on the call who don't have any tech background at all. So if you're one of those people, let me know. You have no knowledge of tech. You can spell tech, but that's the only thing that you know, not in a rude way, but you don't. You're worried, you're a nurse, as someone has said, you're a doctor, and you want to get into this tech space and you don't know how. Again, that is a problem that we've identified. And do not worry, TriTech has the solution, and I'm going to talk about that shortly. One thing I will say is this: it doesn't matter what role you're doing currently. The only thing I tell candidates, if you can manage your family, manage your day-to-day affairs, manage a business or manage a holiday or anything of that nature, then you can easily get into the tech space. There are other factors as well. Age. Some of you are worried that perhaps you're too old. Age is not a barrier within the tech space. As long as you're able to do what you need to do, you will be absolutely fine. And also bearing in mind that a lot of these jobs are virtual jobs. And then some of you worry about your accent. Oh, I have a strong, we get this, funny enough, okay? I have a strong Nigerian accent or a strong Ghanaian accent or a strong accent. And some of you actually worry that that might stand against you. No one cares about your accent. What we care about is you putting your money where your mouth is and being able to deliver. Esther said she loves her accent. I love my accent too. So let's embrace our accents and everything else in between. And the only thing that companies want to see is you being able to deliver. So your accent and your age are not barriers at all. Let's have a look at the next slide. So we've identified a lot of the problems, from your accent, no skills, no experience, no knowledge within the tech space, the tech space being very saturated and competitive at the moment, imposter syndrome, and so on and so forth. And now I'm going to share how we are going to help you overcome all of these problems that we have identified. Okay, I'm going to brag a little bit in the sense that we have helped over 3,000 candidates transition to tech roles. So whether that's a project manager role, a business analyst role, a data analyst role, you name it. We've been around for 7 years, so we're old. We're part of the old school clan, but we know what we're doing. So I'm going to share a strategy that works for every, not all, I'm not going to lie and say all 3,000 secured roles. That would be very, or all the 3,000, yeah, sorry, what am I saying? So all the 3,000 that I mentioned are all the success stories that we have in TriTech spanning over 7 years, yes. Okay, so let's have a look at step 1, hybrid learning. So in TriTech, again, think about the competition that we talked about. Think about the fact that the industry is so saturated at the moment. So step 1 is that in TriTech, we give you hybrid training. So you get 2 for the price of 1. And what that means is we train you in both project management and also business analysis. Any guesses why we do that? Let me know in the chat, please. So think about all those problems we talked about, especially the industry being so competitive right now. So why do you think we train you in both? I think I've given the answer away. It begins with a C. Come on, guys. So they work closely together, absolutely. But there's a main reason why we do this. So you think about it, you're looking for a job, and then there's 250 of you. Thank you so much, Richie Rich. So it's to increase your chances of getting a job, right? So think about it. You're writing your CV, and yes, you're adamant you want to be a project manager, or you're adamant you want to be a business analyst, but you're thinking, you know what? I've done a little bit of everything. So therefore, what I'm going to do is write my CV and showcase that I have knowledge and experience in everything. Listen, every company right now, especially in 2024, they are looking to cut costs. So it makes sense to hire someone as either a project manager or a business analyst that has skills in everything, or hire a hybrid. So therefore, they get 2 for the price of 1. Step 2. Practical work experience. Okay, so remember we identified it as a problem. And in TriTech, what we give you is real work experience. So we do not give you a mock project or a case study, but in actual fact, a lot of the projects that you're going to be working on will be AI-related projects because, of course, as you know, that is where the industry is going at the moment. So you're going to be working on digital projects, putting into practice all of that theoretical knowledge that you're going to learn with us. Your work experience is critical because this is where you're now going to understand how to work on a project, how to collaborate with people from all over the world, how to use all of the tools, the process mapping tools, gather requirements from your stakeholders, put it into documents, and so on and so forth. And for those of you that have no experience, this is critical for every single one of you. So we are going to give you, so from no experience, we are going to give you that relevant experience that you need. Step 3, the TriTech community. Networking is powerful. And you know, there's a saying that your network is your net worth. So in TriTech, it's not just about learning the ropes and getting your success story, but it's also about meeting and connecting with people that have the same goals and visions as yourself. So you're going to be networking with candidates who have secured their roles and candidates who are about to secure their role as well. So the community is very, very close-knit. Step 4 is mentorship and career coaching. We understand the importance. Remember, we talked about the interview process, and we said that nowadays it's about 3 to 4 stages, sometimes even 5 stages. And I can imagine some of you might be nervous, lacking that confidence, and so on and so forth. So our job is to ensure that when you have an interview, regardless of the role, especially and most importantly, ensuring that it's a tech role, we would give you a mentor. That mentor would sit with you and prepare you for that interview. So whether you have a case study that you need to do, bad signal. Can everyone hear me, please? Okay. Pascal, log out and log back in. Thank you. So maybe you have a 4-stage interview. Maybe you have a 5-stage interview. Worry not and fret not. Our dedicated mentors have already gained a lot of experience within the tech world. They are all working as project managers and business analysts and PMOs and so on and so forth. So we would find the right mentor for you to help you along the way. Continuous learning. In TriTech, we have regular sessions that everybody joins outside of your training. So you would have your training as per the norm, but every month we have sessions on LinkedIn optimization. We have sessions on emotional intelligence. We have sessions on imposter syndrome. We have sessions on how to use ChatGPT and so on and so forth. And I'm going to show you something called TDL in a moment. And you have all of the videos on there in case you missed the live sessions. And that will lead to step 6, TDL. Any guesses as to what TDL stands for? Kingsley, yes, we do. So we used to call it LMS, and then we decided to personalize it a little bit. So we no longer call it LMS, and we now call it TDL. Any guesses? Can anyone guess what TDL stands for? TriTech, okay? And then the D and the L. So to give you fantastic, oh, you're close. I can tell you're very, very close. Well done, Idara. So TriTech Digital Library. So remember when we used to go to the library back in the day? I mean, no shade. I don't remember the last time I went to a library. And you know what it's like, you go to the library and there's information everywhere and, you know, you select your books, you read it, then you return it. TDL is like your Netflix. You know, when you log into Netflix, you've got your horror and so on and so forth. TDL will literally change your, I don't want to say life, but change your career, okay? Because there's a lot of information on there, again, outside of your learning itself. We've got sessions on there on cybersecurity. We've got sessions on data analysis. We've got sessions on business intelligence. And like I mentioned, I will show you TDL in a moment. So let's have a look at step 7. Guys, we will wait. Tech is not loving us today. Who is on the screen? This happens sometimes. Please, apologies. Can someone just take over, please? Thank you. Okay, step 7, thank you very much. Finally, this is really, really important. So remember when we talked about the problem and we said, can everyone see the screen, please? Is everyone still with me? No one has wandered off? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry about that, guys. So remember we talked about step 7 and we said that AI is the future. Every year there's something. Back in the day, it was Prince 2, then it was agile, yes, and now it's all about AI, okay? In TriTech, a lot of what we do is AI related. So the great news is that we have embedded the AI curriculum within your project management and business analysis training. So you would do your project management training and your business analysis training, and you would also now be trained on AI because we recognize the importance of you having AI knowledge and experience. Isn't that amazing, guys? And also in relation to step 7, a lot of the projects that you're going to be working on will also be AI related projects. Step 8, I'm really excited about this because it's something we recently just introduced. So we have an immigration advisor as a part of the TriTech team. And every month we have an immigration Q&A session, just like this. And this is for all of our candidates within TriTech. So perhaps you need guidance on, your immigration routes. Obviously, that's not my forte. So we decided to hire someone within TriTech. And their job is to give you all of that knowledge and experience that you need, or that guidance that you need. So that is step 8. Step 9 is portfolio building. So nowadays, when you go for an interview, it's nice to have a portfolio. This is a collection of all of the work that you've done, whether you've worked on an AI app or a mobile, a website, you name it. It's nice to have a collection of all of this. So we would actually help you with building a portfolio for yourself. And step 10 is something else that I'm very excited about that we've just introduced: accountability partners. So we understand that sometimes for some of you that have no experience, it can be very, very daunting. You're put into a team of people that you've never met before, and you're now being told, to work on your project. So every project has an accountability partner, and their job is to check up on you, guide you, give you that support that you need, and also ensure that you're following the right path. So that is our 10-step strategy. Let's have a look at the next slide. So the roadmap. So we've talked now about the solution, and now this is the roadmap that highlights what happens when you join TriTech to when you get your success story. So we're going to have a look at the TDL portal in a moment. So those of you signing up today, you will get access to TDL today. Then step 2 is your hybrid training. So remember, that is your training in both project management and also business analysis. Step 3 is a little assessment. The assessment is to help and guide you on your learning journey, helping you identify what you need to work on and what you need to improve on as well. Step 4 is your practical work experience. Step 5 is your career coaching. So once you've completed your project, you would be working with the career coaches for 4 weeks. Their job is to help you in terms of boosting your confidence, applying for jobs, and everything else in between. Step 6 and 7 are your mentorship sessions, and everybody joins these every month. These can be on any topic of the mentor's choice. Step 8 is when you have an interview, ensuring that there is a mentor to prepare you for that interview. Step 9 is obviously where everybody needs to be, which is, of course, you getting your success story. So how many of you would want to get step 9? Yes, Christiana, it is. And that's what we do in TriTech. So step 9 is, of course, getting your success story, in which we give you a reference. So we would give you a reference because you are working for a consulting company. And step 10 is joining the alumni platform with other candidates who have already secured their roles. So it is a 10-step process. Let's have a look at the next slide. So remember, I talked about the immigration sessions. So this is our immigration advisor, Sir Daberichi Iwaha. I think I got that right. Okay. I tried, but he's an amazing, and he's a sir, okay? So in TriTech, it's all about quality. So he knows what he's doing, and he speaks to all of my candidates every month on latest immigration rules or laws or anything at all that you need help with. This is the man for the job, and he's part of the TriTech team. Next slide. Our in-house career coaches, you have Samuel Akinloton, Abayomi Ishmael, or Adeyimika Balogun. So these are the career coaches that you would spend 4 weeks with after you've completed your work experience. Samuel is a HR professional who works for the Royal Bank of Scotland. So he knows all about the interview process, how to apply for jobs, and everything else as well. And then you have Abayomi and Adeyimika, who are also career coaches. They have years of HR experience. So again, they know exactly what you need to do to get to your job. Now, I'm really sorry, I forgot about the training dates. Let's have a look at the next slide. Hopefully it's on there. Okay, is the next slide? All right, okay. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the duration in a moment. So sorry about that. But this one is really exciting because we just launched this today. So for those of you joining today, you're getting a full package. So we have now included LinkedIn optimization as part of your package. Isn't that fantastic, guys? So we never had this. We've never had this in the whole 7 years that we've been running TriTech. And we literally just launched this today. So for those of you joining today, you will take advantage of this. But if you have other people in TriTech, don't let them know, okay? It's our little secret. But this is fantastic because what that means is, of course, you need to do the work. You need to get involved with your work experience, and then we would guide you on what you need to do on your LinkedIn profile on a one-to-one basis. So it's not going to be at group level. We now have a dedicated team. So you just contact us and say, hey, I've done my work experience. I'm ready to get that job right now. And together, they will look at your LinkedIn profile and put together something that is amazing and mouth-watering, that will make a lot of people, recruiters and companies, scout for you and hopefully get you in for a job. So we launched this today, and I'm so, so happy about it. We also launched something else today, but let's have a look at the next slide. Yes, I'm so sorry. I think I got the dates. Okay. Okay, so what's happening is the slides have changed a little bit, but I'm going to talk about the dates in a moment. So the next one, okay. Yes, the LinkedIn optimization is free. It's now part of your package, and we just launched that today. So for those of you joining today, you get the privilege of being the first candidates to actually have that experience. Okay. Training dates and times. I think this is very, very important. So for those of you joining today, training would commence on the 5th of October. Training is for 7 consecutive Saturdays. So the 5th of October through to the 16th of November. And the training times are 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. However, we do understand that some of you, perhaps you've got plans, you know how it is with our Saturdays and so on and so forth. If these times are not ideal for you, you can defer your training to whenever you're ready. So bear in mind that time is ticking, and guys, 2024 is almost over. However, if you know you're not available to commence your training on the 5th of October, you could join at the end of November or, of course, the end of December. So we're very, very flexible in regards to when you would like to start your training. The next step would be end of November, taking us through to December. That is crazy. Time is ticking. Training times are 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. If for whatever reason you're not able to join all of the Saturdays, there are recorded versions of the training on TDL, and I'm going to show you TDL in a moment, okay? So is everyone clear on that now? 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., 7 Saturdays from the 5th of October to the 16th of November. However, you can defer your training. The work, yes, just Saturdays for now. The work experience, of course, is after you've completed your training, and that is normally for 2 to 3 months working on your live project. Okay, let's have a look at the next slide. So you also get a certificate of completion. Everybody loves a certificate. So you get this beautiful certificate in front of us right now. It would have your name, and it would also have the type of project that you're going to be working on. Kingsley, that's a very good question. So you have 9 months on the platform. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wait 9 months to get your success story, but we give you a 9-month window. And I would say that realistically, give yourself at least 3 to 4 months. Some people, it takes longer. And some people, they get it very quickly and they get their job within 2 months. But we give you a 9-month window. So bear in mind, your training is your 7 Saturdays. After that is your work experience for 2 to 3 months. And then we recommend within your 4th or 5th month, you should be ready for the job market. But you have 9 months on the platform, okay? Does everybody understand that, please? Because I saw Kingsley's questions. Okay. So this is your certificate of completion. You know, we love the certificate. It's evidence of the work that we've done. So providing you have done the work, we would give you this beautiful certificate. It would have your name and also the type of project that you've worked on as well. And obviously, when we help you with your LinkedIn profile, you can actually upload that on your profile as well. Next slide, please. So these are the tools that you will be taught to use. We have Jira, we have Confluence, we have Visio, MS Projects, and other AI-related tools as well. So we're going to not only teach you on how to use these tools, but you're also going to be able to apply them to when you're working on your projects as well. So all of these tools will be provided, and also AI-related tools as well that are going to help you along the way. Next slide, please. We don't use Primavera at the moment. Okay, so before we go into TDL itself, I think you've skipped a page. Guys, my facilitators, I think they're tired. I think they're tired, okay? Because there was something else that I introduced today and we've skipped that page. So can we go back to that page, please, guys? And then we're going to go to TDL. I think we've got an amazing speaker that's going to talk about her journey. And then I'm going to announce the discount and then boom, we are done. So there's a page. I don't want to give it away, but yes, fantastic. So 2 things were launched today. LinkedIn optimization. And secondly, now, when we say sponsorship, we don't mean from an immigration level. I just realized that, yeah, that could be implicating. But what we now do, and we launched this today as well, is we give a certificate. So we sponsor 5 candidates who have done exceedingly well on this journey, and we pay for a certificate for you. Does that make sense? No, the work experience is not paid. So every cohort, so bearing in mind, you guys would be the first cohort for this. We would find out who the top 5 top performers are within this cohort joining today, and we would pay for your certification for you. We would be the ones to provide that certification. It could be agile, it could be change management, it could be anything at all. But we now do this for our top 5 performing candidates. Not in PMP, no. But it's a certificate that you can put on your LinkedIn, put on your CV, and so on and so forth. So yes, not Prince 2, no. Guys, you're pushing it now. But, you know, it's a standard certificate that can be used anywhere. Okay, let's have a look at the next slide, TDL. So TDL is the TriTech Digital Library, as I mentioned, and we are now going to log in and see what it's all about. And hopefully the guys are awake this time. Mohammed, are you ready? Thank you.
See you when you're ready.
Cool. Primavera, no, we don't use Primavera. So this is what TDL looks like. This is your library. I would say that make this your best friend. If you go on Netflix, I'm not saying that Netflix is bad or anything of that nature, but the moment you log on to TDL, you're going to forget all about Netflix, yeah? So everything is on here. So on here, you've got your training materials for your training. On here, you've got your timetable. So you know when you go to university, you download your timetable. This is embedded within TDL. You also have a personality test. So for example, maybe you're confused, you're not sure whether you're a project manager or a business analyst, you're just confused. So this is powered by AI. You would take the personality test and it will give you a guide on what routes to take. On here, you've got your live meetings. On here, you've got your assessments as well. But what I really want to focus on is the videos. So let's have a look at the videos that we have on here. Kingsley said, I feel like this is going to cost an arm and a leg. Nah, it's not. Worry not. Okay, so obviously for today, it's project management and business analysis videos. So we give you access to both. Guys, trust me, trust Mama Hawk. It's not. So you get access to your project management videos and your business analysis videos. Ignore the £750 on the screen. Ignore that, okay? So again, it's up to you what videos you want to go for first. Either your project management videos or your business analysis videos. Yes, yummy it is. And remember, you have access to TDL for 9 months. So let's have a look at the project management videos. Yes, it is, Moy. Guys, can we look at the chat, please? Thank you. So these are all of the topics that you have on TDL. Now, this is not your training. So it's not a case of go and watch your videos to complete your training. No, you would have your live training for 7 Saturdays. Now, remember I said to you that perhaps you're busy on one of the Saturdays or you're not available or you have an event. There is a recorded of the live training that you're about to have on TDL already. Does everybody understand that, please? So your 7 Saturdays, maybe you're not available for some of the Saturdays. The recorded version of the training is already on here. Okay, but let's have a look at the juicy topics that we have on TDL. So we've got topics on MS projects. We've got videos on project planning, people management. We've got videos on change management, risk management also on here. We've got videos on digital project management. Google Analytics is also on here. We've got videos on the role of a PMO, over 10 videos on Agile Scrum. We've got videos even on general data protection, project manager's diary. We've got a lot of videos on that. A day in the life of a project manager is on here. We've got videos on interview process, CV writing, and LinkedIn applications as well. We've even got videos on imposter syndrome. TriTech Digital Solutions is on here as well. We've got videos on effective communication, part 1, part 2, part 3. Dealing with project governance is on here as well. We've got videos on using tools. We've even got videos on ChatGPT on here as well. How to attain visibility in your first 3 months at work. We've got videos on that as well. What to expect in your first month at work. We've got videos on that. Emotional intelligence in conflict resolution. Self-awareness is on here. AI in project management is also on here, and so on and so forth. Remember, it's a library. So you select any topic that is of interest to you, like so, and you play your video. You've got your PowerPoint and the mentor or the trainer in the background. TDL is also mobile friendly, so you can download it as an app. Maybe you're at work, you don't want to talk to anybody. You play your video, kids are making noise in the house, again, you play your video, you're in the kitchen making your food, you know, again, you can play your video. So it's very mobile friendly. So this is just your project management content. Let's have a look at the business analysis content very quickly. So again, the live training that you're about to have is already recorded on TDL. Again, does everybody understand that? So let's say you're not able to join some of the live sessions. There is already recorded versions of the training on TDL. So let's have a look at some of the topics that we have for the BAs in the house. A lot of videos on requirement gathering, requirement elicitation, process modeling. We've even got videos on software testing. We've got videos on user journeys. We've even got videos on DevOps on here. Strategy and implementation is on here. Agile Scrum is on here. Scrum Master Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4 is also on here. Cybersecurity Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4 is also on here as well. We've got videos on interview preparation. Software testing is on here as well. Job application process. A day in the life of a business analyst is on here. Robotic process automation is on here. Big data, we've got videos on that. We've even got videos on AI already on here. Business intelligence is on here as well. Oh, it's a lot, but these are all the topics. Keep going, Mohammed, because of time. We've got videos on agile, interview case studies on here as well, conflict resolution, the interview methodology. There's a lot of content on here. So again, you select any topic of your choice. So remember, this is your library and you have 9 months access. So you select any topic of your choice, you press play, video is playing, and the mentor is talking in the background. Isn't that fantastic, guys? And this is included in your package. So the TDL portal has over 250 videos. And as I'm sure you can relate, a lot of mouth-watering topics are on here. So are these all going to be covered as part of the training? No, this is outside of the training. So guys, this is not your training. This is your library. So, you know, when you go to a library, so for example, emotional intelligence is on here. Cybersecurity is on here. Big data is on here. So this is your library, your dictionary, your Bible, and everything else in between. I am very, very conscious of time. Let's look at the next slide. I think someone's already reminding me that it's 7 to 8. Okay, so after the success story, we announce the discounts and then we call it a day. So is Zainab on the call?
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Zainab. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Over to you.
So hi, everyone. My name is Zainab. I joined TriTech in August 23. Yeah, I worked on Project Dash. Just like this, I found out about TriTech on Instagram. My friend was following them. She shared the page. I joined the teaser session like this. I worked with many other people. I worked as a project support, PMO. Yeah, I was PMO on the project. After the project, I did my CV revamp, and my project ended in December, and I landed my first role in May 21st. Prior to then, it was a lot. There was so many rejection. For me, it was straight from application to rejection. I don't know what I was doing wrong, even though I had revamped my CV. But one of the things I'd like for you all to take away from this is don't underestimate the power of referral. If you have friends that already work, you can just put it out there like, oh, this is the skill set that you have, you're looking for a job. Because where I currently work, when I applied, my friend works there. So it's like, oh, there's an opening in my office. You should apply, you qualify for it and stuff. I applied for a more senior role. I didn't get that role, but then my interviewer was really pleased with my interview and recommended me for the role that I am on currently, which is a project support role. And I also wanted to say another thing. With the project, there's so much to learn and unlearn. I did my master's in project management. I was coming with a different kind of knowledge. But being on the project, the access that we had to all the Jira, Confluence, and all of those things, it kind of gave me a wider skill set. And do not take, what's the right word? Take advantage of the mentorship. I'm trying to remember her name now. Ginny is the absolute best. She was my mentor for my project, for my job interview. She gave me all of her time, all of it. We practiced numerous times, and I am confident to say that everything Ginny studied with me was what I used in my interview, and it really, really, really helped. It won my interview was over. So your mentorship priority, the project, try as much as you can to engage, sometimes to extend into the night because you're working with people in different time zones. That is very essential. You can't just pay and sit back. You actually have to put in the work. It makes all of that easier. If anybody asks questions, but it's worth the price. It's a good deal.
Thank you, Zainab. I know it's been a long day. How is work at the moment? How are you getting on?
To be fair, it's exciting. I'm working with really nice people that are really, really kind, and it's quite different from what I've learned in TriTech. It's a different kind of project, but the skills that I've had, the communication skill, the collaboration skill I've been able to learn during the course of
Mhm.
the project is making it really easy to mix with different kind of people. So it's really, really it's 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 an experience. That's the word. It's an experience, but everything is going all really well. I like it there.
Okay, and which one is harder, TriTech or where you are?
To be fair, I think TriTech was.
Mm-hmm.
I think TriTech was because it was with TriTech, we're starting from the bases. And
Yeah.
it's not like you're working with experienced people, you're working with people that are probably starting from the scratch as you. So it required more of trial and error, even though we had our PSC and BSc to guide us. But then it's like they're just guiding you, they're not spoon feeding you. It's like
Mm-hmm.
go do the mistake, bring it back. So I think TriTech was quite it was more tedious, but where I am, one step at a time. It's good. It's good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Zainab. I will let you go because of time. All the best.
Thank
And
you
I
very
hope that
much.
you're going to join as a mentor at some point.
I hope so.
Thank you so much. All the
Yeah.
best. Thank you. I'm conscious of time. I know we had a lot of questions for her, but I need to wrap up very, very shortly. So let's go to the next slide, please. So this is just a guide on transitioning into tech itself. So at the top, you've got 3 different job roles. You've got the role of a project manager, a business analyst, and a PMO. And then underneath, we've got different careers that some of you are probably doing at the moment. So for example, if you're a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a sales manager, a delivery manager, you have retail experience, or you're a chef, we would advise that you go for the role of a project manager. If you're an engineer, again, a doctor, an accountant, a financial advisor, a scientist, a lecturer, or a professor, we would advise that you go for the role of a business analyst. And PMOs, so PMOs are your governance, think about quality assurance. Their job is to ensure that there are standards in place. So if you come from a HR background, a law background, a care background, quality analyst, compliance, or banking and PPI and procurement, then we would advise that you go for the role of a PMO analyst. Support work would fall under care as well. So that would be the role of a PMO analyst. So this is just a guide only. Of course, it's entirely up to you what role you would want to go for. But we just find that what you're doing currently can relate to what we've got on here. Agriculturist, I would say business analyst. Kingsley again. Let's have a look at the next slide. And then for people that need to go, they can go and then I'll stay on. Procurement, definitely PMO. Okay, so we're getting to the juicy part, which is the fee. So remember that included in your package is your business analysis training, your project management training. PMO stands for a project management officer or a program management officer. Okay, so in your package, you get your business analysis training, project management training, you get your project planning training, practical work experience, your career coaching, your mentorship for interviews, your networking, access to TDL, referencing, and then remember that we've just introduced LinkedIn optimization on a one-on-one basis, and also a free certificate for our top performing candidates. So this has also now been included in your package. Let's have a look at the next slide. So we're in Nigeria, so this relates to everybody, everyone. Okay, so let's have a look at the discount that we have for those of you looking to join today. When you're ready, please. Oh, okay. You also get a free ebook. So I wrote this over the summer holidays. How to skyrocket your career with LinkedIn. So everybody on the call gets a copy of this. So please do check your emails, but we give you this free of charge. So everybody will get a copy of this ebook. Next slide. No one is saying thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Okay, so in TriTech, we like to, you know, give a lot of freebies. So you're getting your ebook, and everyone on the call is getting that ebook. So admin, please take note of that. But you also get to choose, for those of you registering today, you get to choose between any of these free courses as well. So you could get a free course in UI UX, or a free course in Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint training. So what does that mean? For those of you perhaps not proficient with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, when you sign up today, you also get this free course. It's not a video, it's going to be live training. Or you might decide that, you know what, you're very creative, you like to design websites and mobile applications, and therefore you would need to, or you're interested in UI UX. UI stands for user interface and UX stands for user experience. So think about your Instagram, right? The look and the feel of Instagram is your user interface, the design, the reels, the, you know, all of the colors and schemes and everything else. And user experience refers to how you relate with Instagram. So that interaction that you have with Instagram itself. So if you were to choose between any of these courses, which one would you go for? Microsoft Mastery or UI UX? We're finishing in 2 minutes. Sorry, I think it was the technical glitches that held us back. I do apologize. So yeah, okay, a lot of you, I personally would go for UI UX because again, you can put it on your CV as well and give yourself an added advantage. You would also get a certificate included. So you get this when you sign up today. As usual, somebody always says both. Let's have a look at the next slide. I was waiting for that, but let's have a look at the next slide. Okay, so £950 is Kingsley here. So we are going to do £650 for this course. Bearing in mind that you've now got your LinkedIn optimization included, and also certificates, and there's a lot. And your free course as well. Isn't that fantastic? But guess what? We've even got something better. So 650 is good, but listen, the economy is not smiling right now. So let's have a look at the early bird offer that we have for today. So we are going to do £469, okay, for the first 20 people. So it's an early bird offer, okay? And all you would need to do is text the word payment to Adi, Joker, or Esther. Their numbers are on the screen. If you've had previous conversations with them, you can do that already. What I'm also going to do is this. For those of you that registered today, remember I said I used to work in the bank, so I was a salesperson. So for those of you that registered today, I'm going to give you 2 of the free courses. Does that make sense? So if you sign up today, you would get your UI, UX, and also Microsoft Office training as well. So isn't that fantastic, guys? You're getting 4 for the price of 1. Yeah, so 469 is full payment. Text the word payment to Adejoke and Esther. Their numbers are on the screen. Or if you would rather we call you, you can put your number in the chat and we would call you after this session. So this is full payment. Let's have a look at those of you that perhaps you want to pay in installments. So if you're looking to split your payments, we accept Klarna and ClearPay, okay? And it's £550. You can split it 3 ways or 4 ways. Again, text the numbers on the screen. You've got Shaggle and Dial. Text the word installments and they would send you the link, okay? So if perhaps you want to drop your number in the chat and you want us to call you, or you have questions, you know, anything of that nature, you can do that. Ideally, to secure your offer, I would say text the numbers on the screen. So you've got Shegun and you've got Dio, and they are on standby to help you with that. And then, of course, for my guys back home, my people back home, Nigeria, Ghana, and Africa as a whole, let's have a look. So if you're in any neck of the woods in Africa, text the word payment to Sonia. Now, do bear in mind that the exchange rate is not laughing at the moment. However, we've tried to make it as reasonable as possible. So you text the word payment to Sonia, who is on the call, and then she would send you the account details. Or there is an email address at the bottom, payments@tritechconsulting.co.uk, if you would rather just send an email. So we're going to run through this again very, very quickly. For those of you that need to go, you can. And I will stay on to answer any questions that I've not been able to answer. So let's go back to full payment. So it's early bird for 20 people only. For those of you that sign up today, we would give you your training in both, your free course in both UX, UI, and also Microsoft Office. So you're going to get everything. Yeah. 469, you can either put your number in the chat or text the numbers on the screen. Adejoke and Esther, 469. So discounted from 950 to 650 to 469. Full payment, numbers on the screen, or you can put your number in the chat. Then the next slide. Yes, so let's say you want to secure this offer and start at a later date, you can, absolutely. Installments, it's 550. We accept Klarna, ClearPay, and there's another one. Guys, if you can put it in the chat, please, pay later. So with this, you can split your payments. 3 payments, 4 payments. Do make sure that when you're signing anything with Klarna or ClearPay, please read the terms and conditions. But again, they're very, very affordable, and you're able to split your costs in 3 to 4 payments. Okay. So this is the offer, 550. And then of course, if you're in Nigeria, you text Sonia. Okay. So I think I will stay on. So for those of you that need to go, you can go. And yes, so or if any of you have questions, I will stay on for about 2-3 minutes just to answer any questions that anyone might have. So just to talk about the payments, we accept transfers, debit cards, credit cards, and of course, Klarna, ClearPay, and Pay Later as well. So if you've already got a Klarna account, it should be automatic. Yes, it does. So good question. So if you're paying instrumentally, you pay today, you still get your 2 free courses. So you would not be penalized. So it's up to you. Full payment, 469 for the first 20 people only, and 550 if you're splitting your cost. But anyone paying today would get UI, UX, and also Microsoft included as part of their package. I would say text the guys in Nigeria because the exchange rate is so unstable at the moment. So they would give you the actual fee for that. So Hulaimat, it will probably be an agile certificate. We're still working on it. However, do not worry. But remember that you have to be part of the top 5. So we're not going to pay for certificates for everybody. We would select 5 of you from this cohort. And what are we going to be looking for? People that are active, proactive, getting involved, and there's visibility. And then at the end of your work experience, you would be notified. So we would select 5 people from this cohort, okay? Scrum Master training, admin, can you let me know? Data analysis, I think it's October. Admin, can we put it in the chat, please? Thank you so. And very good question. How can people from Nigeria get jobs in the UK? At the moment, there's a lot of virtual jobs. So when you do the career coaching, we would guide you on how to apply for jobs from anywhere in the world. The last session that we had, there was a lady who shared her success story from Nigeria. So she was doing her training in Nigeria and applied for a job on sponsorship, and she's now here in the UK. Her success story is also on our Instagram page as well. Yes, you can. Yes, we've had a few that from Nigeria, they've, applied for a job and then they've come over on a tech visa. Yes.